Warning! This podcast contains amazing content
and strong language.
It's all the beer.
Yeah. All I heard was, I'm going to my car. It was like, you're going to pee.
That's how he said. Oh
in
my
the
god.
boot.
In the boot. And I'm... Oh, grim. Honestly, you guys are blessed being guys. You can pee anywhere. It's so much more hard, especially being in lockdown and you're only allowed to like drink in the parks here. Well, obviously you can't do that really in Glasgow, but here, obviously, when you go for a drink in the park, you need to go for nature pees and twos with girls. It's a disaster.
Yeah, you have to find like a bush that hides you from both sides. It's like, oh my god.
Not the best.
No.
Hi, I'm Natasha Jenkins.
And I'm Juliana Hopkins.
And you're listening to Back Catalogues. Today we have with us MrdB from Glasgow. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing good, yeah.
It's
nice. We're sitting outside and joining you guys.
Oh, it's lovely to have you on. A wee at home, away from home, that's what this is.
So, can you tell us your names and your roles in the band?
You want me to start? Well, my name's Aiden. I'm the drummer. I'm the youngest in the band. I'm the baby. I'm the most recent member of the band, actually. I replaced
hundreds of different ones. we have Spinal Tap level of drummers.
I've been playing with these guys for maybe about a year or so, but I've been the youngest in the band. It's good to sit and making older guys and stuff, more experienced fellas, and I'm enjoying it though. It's good being a drummer. You get to hide away from everything.
Yeah, drumming is awesome.
Juju's a drummer.
So I'm Billy Kinnear and I'm the singer, and when he says older guy, I'm just a couple of years older.
Whatever you say, you'll be out of the band.
I'm the singer, rhythm guitarist in the band. So.
Nice.
Very nice.
So how did you guys all meet and who else plays in the band? So it's not just you two. Tell us a wee bit more about like the history of the band.
Okay, so we are one of those bands we are very proud of. The nearest big city to us is Glasgow, and we're from Paisley, which is just outside of Glasgow.
Paisley.
We're very proud of our rich heritage of creative industries and music. It's where Paul and the team came from, Jerry Rafferty, the Humble Bombs, etc. So it's one of those things growing up that you're proud that you serve your time and you're in Paisley and you're surrounded by musicianship. So, like we were chatting the other day, Natasha, that idea of even in Glasgow or around the area is a very close-knit community, and Paisley has that just on its own as well, and you get to know everybody.
Yeah.
So you tend to find that you all play together at some point or another.
Yeah.
And so we're very lucky to have Aiden here, because Aiden's probably the finest drummer around these parts.
Yeah.
And,
Whoa, we're getting bigged up.
we must talk about that, Natasha, with you guys, because you're both child prodigies as well. So Aiden's...
I wouldn't say I'm a child prodigy, but I mean, like, well.
That's it. The other two guys, we're a four-piece band. The other two guys, we've got Craig Corbett on lead guitar, and we have Kenny Sick Boy Mooney on bass guitar.
Oh,
so
amazing.
yeah, that's how we came together. It was really just it came from me. I literally every now and again I try and count how many bands I've played with, and I can't. I give up. I just go, I can't. I just give up. So I always had an album in me. It was just doing different roles in different bands all the time. I played drums and bass and guitar and keys and sang. I played everything. So this was I've always got this album in myself. So I recorded it all, played it all, wrote it all, recorded, played it all, and then I was really chuffed with it. And I thought, I don't want to be myself. I don't want to be solo.
Right.
So it was really reaching out to people that I played with, not in particular, I played in an out-and-out band for a long time, but maybe the odd get, sometimes when you do a guest take and you fill in and, do that, fill in the role.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been. So, as I say, so the real core was myself, Craig and Kenny, and the Spinal Tap level of drummers. They busted, they disappeared, they died on us, they choked in their own vomit.
What?
Oh my god.
That's crazy. What the hell?
Yeah, no, honestly, it's just been such a what the hell? Everything that goes on with, but it's solid, and I think we're about a year and a half at least. Maybe a wee bit more than that.
Because we'll be missing gigging so much, man, you kind of lose the timeline. Whereas if you were gigging all the time, you would know, like, I was gigging there 2 weeks ago, I was gigging there 7 weeks ago, whatever,
Yeah.
But
reference points.
And I had never met Craig nor Kenny, because I knew you, obviously, just coming to see you at different gigs and stuff like that. And you says, you want to sit on with us? And I was like, this is fucking great, man, I love this. And it just makes such a difference when everybody in the band, they don't take themselves too seriously, and they know what they need to do, and they'll just stick to it, they'll not deviate for the role, and they know exactly what they're doing within the band, and you appreciate that as well, do you know what I mean? And as I say, being a younger guy and sitting in the older guys, it's always going to feel good, do you know what I mean? Because that's, like me learning how to play, it feels like fucking a fortnight ago, and I was thinking, I can't wait, I'm old enough that I can sit in with these dudes, and I'm doing it, and it's great.
Oh, bless you. That's really sweet, but you better watch. It sounds like your position's bloody cursed in this band.
Yeah, be careful.
Listen,
you might just explode.
I know! Like, definitely!
Out of nowhere.
Literally.
It's not as cynical as saying hand-picking, but I wanted it to be, and we've all had these experiences, you guys will have these experiences when you play with others, and there's the internal stripes and politics that go on, and there's nothing worse than there's, my wife said years ago, and she said, why are you still with them,
Yeah.
And it's that, just all you do is complain, you go, this guy's moaning, or whatever, So the four of us, we're really good. There's a lot of love in the room every time we get together.
Oh, that's good. It's important when it really gels,
Yeah.
Even something as symbolic as, when you're carrying a gear, me being a singer, I carry my wee microphone every time we But, for years, my main instrument for many years since a kid was the drums, and it's always that left alone to carry the drums. And then the next instrument is like, I'll play the bass now. Big massive bass amps. One's got your own to carry, but we all help each other. If that's symbolic of the relationship of the band, we all help each other with all the instruments. Everybody helps each other take everything in, set up, even the setting up, we help each other, packing everything away. So it's good, man.
No, that's
really good. Usually you never get help as a drummer. Like, everyone just plugs in their amp, their guitar, microphone.
Yeah, I think it's just because Billy used to be a drummer, he can empathise, because it is bullshit every time. People are off stage for 15-20 minutes and I'm still taking my cymbals off.
Yeah, and they're like, hurry up.
I can't talk. I'm literally just microphone and a wee guitar sometimes. The important thing is if you get a good enough gig, somebody else does that for you.
Turn up and just play. Thank you.
Absolutely, that's so funny.
A gig, just a corporate thing, but it was great fun. The Christmas one we did a couple of Christmases ago, and we had runners who ran on with the beers for us.
No.
Runners during the gig.
Shut
so,
up.
You'd be playing the gig, have the middle eights on, and you bend down, take a wee sip of your beer, and somebody's spotting you going, that beer's nearly finished. You're sitting down there like that. I'm just looking at him going,
I need one of them in my life. Yeah. I don't need one of them on stage. I need one of them permanent fixture.
Looking after,
One day, Natasha.
One day, when we get really famous on Back to Backs, that's what we'll be doing. We'll have runners.
They'll come and bring us more coffee.
Literally coffee. It'll be changed to vodka by then, though.
So, how did you come up with the band name?
It's I'll tell you where it comes from.
I don't know, by the way, I'm going to set this one out.
You're the bara. You're the wee bara. You're just there.
Do you know where I'm not going to tell you, actually. You know what it comes from? See the idea, I love Biffy Clyro. I've loved Biffy Clyro from the off.
Right.
And you know this thing where they wouldn't tell anybody what Biffy Clyro meant?
Yeah. Right, okay.
It's like, we're not going to tell you.
Right.
And I love the intrigue of that. I love people asking. Every gig we go to, people ask, so what's coming up? And new people come and see it, and they'll go, so what's it mean? And we announce it during the gig, and we say there'll be a big prize for the first person that gets what MrdB stands for.
Oh, that's so smart.
I like that.
I like that.
That's the thing that Juliana, I don't know if you know this phrase. I think it's a Scottish thing. So Biffy Clyro have Mon the Biff.
Yeah,
you heard that?
Do you know, like,
they'll
explain it.
Like an abbreviation of come on.
Come
on, it's like come on Scotland, come on England. That's even more abbreviated come on, C apostrophe Mon. We just say Mon.
Okay.
You know how I sometimes go Mon yourself?
Yeah.
Like on yourself, like I say, like Mon.
They were saying that on the football night.
Yeah, on the football nights, you saying that they were saying that on the football night. When was that?
Mon the Knox.
Mon the Knox, yeah. So Juliana toured with the Libertines.
That was pretty good, man. It was like every.
She's known me long enough. It
thank
should
you.
be that bloody good. You've heard that accent every day of your life.
Back to the name, I love Biffy Clyro when you've got, and the sale of t-shirts are really popular. It says Mon the Biff. And that's the thing they do, and they all shout it at the guys, Mon the Biff, Mon the Biff. And so we've got Mon the DBs, and it was just part of that, that whole mystery of it. And I do love everybody. And people say, they come up and you go, I've got it, I know what it stands for. And I love, there's been so many crackers, but my favourite is because I love my clothes, and the guys poke fun at me, my clothes and my clobber and my style. And one guy came up and he stopped a song during the game. I went, stop, and he went, I think actually, and I got a wee bit embarrassed. He went, he actually knows what it is. And I said, take the mic in, have you got it? And he says, it stands for Mr. Dapper Bastard.
I can believe that, because you're always dressed to a T. Like, you've always got good clobber on. Every time I've seen you, you've been well dressed.
Every time.
I like
even in rehearsal, where you're all dressed like shit. Man, I'll get a flip-flop on and 2 armbands and Billy rocks up, man, in a 3-piece suit.
Honestly, it's so good. You make such a great impression, because I think when we went for that Christmas dinner, I remember thinking to myself, you look cracking. You look so good. Smashing. It was great.
Thank you. I do like my clothes. I like it. It gives me a thrill. I like it.
Exactly. The street's your catwalk, babe. Work it.
So, Aiden, have they told you the secret of the name yet, or are you still guessing?
I'm not got a clue. I just automatically thought it well.
You've not been entrusted yet.
Mysterious.
That's what I'm saying. That was the first time I found out that whole story. That's interesting. I don't have a clue.
Sounds like you're not really in the band.
I'm a bastard, ran away.
That is amazing.
Decibel is a good shout, because we write it with a small D and a large B. So that decibel's written like that, so it's...
I thought it was Mr. Drum and Bass. Like, I wasn't sure what type of music he liked, so I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was decibel.
Did you think it was decibel? Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I swear to God, girls, I don't have a clue.
That's all right, babes. We'll still just allow you in the band. That's fine. So, what is your funniest or like favourite memory that you've got in the band together? I know it's hard now because you haven't really been like gigging as such from COVID, but have you got a funniest memory from before or even during?
I mean, I'm not so sure about funniest, man, because all the funny shit happens when you're rubbered.
Yeah.
Then you can't remember.
But like, just the gigs that we do, we've done a few gigs down in Inverary, and it's, if you've ever been to Inverary, it's beautiful.
You guys have to come up. We'll get you a gig if you're up in Scotland. You have to play Inverary.
Really?
We got Palo up there a few months back, and it was just because I've been banging on for years to go. You need to go up, but honestly, it is heaven on earth. But anyway, we go up and play there every day.
Yeah, we do, and you go in and people are just sitting having their dinner, and then you'll go away, you'll have your cigarettes, you'll get changed, you come back down, and the place will just be absolutely stowed with arses. You cannot see the floor. It's unbelievable. And you play a gig, and everybody listens to the music, and they appreciate that, rather than people just going there to spill drinks all over you. I mean, they are getting a bit rowdy, but you know what I mean? It's
typical Scots, isn't it?
Last at A100, there's about 750 people on, so I'm trying to play drums. Hitting somebody, you know. You
actually pull all your t-shirts back as you're playing. I've got this brilliant technique where I hook my foot around the mic stand
and just pull it in.
So you play a gig like that, and you walk out, and you can walk right along the beach, and you just.
Oh wow!
That's my kind of favourite time of gigging is finishing. I know that's sad saying that. My favourite bit of the gig is finishing the gig, but it's finishing the gig and just chilling, getting a beer and walking along the beach.
Yeah, you feel great as well. You're on that high.
Have that lovely feeling afterwards where you just want to get smashed and
Jojo's like basically a Glasgow gal without the accent. She loves it. Just,
We're loving you already, Julie.
Yeah,
Loving you guys already, so.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, before you know it, at 4 in the morning, it's always an after show party. You just go 7.
I want to come with you guys, like with the band. I'll be your tour manager.
Bad influence. People hold pints. Willie holds 2 pints.
Yeah. Wasn't that me through? That was literally me through university. Because you get 2 doubles for a tenner, and by God, I was not buying one, so I would have 2 double rums for a tenner every time I was at the pub. Don't know what you're talking about. This one drink pish.
Yeah, you could get a pitcher of vodka for like cheaper than if you were getting it by the glass. So Natasha would just get a pitcher and a straw, and
I'd stand like that with a
she
jug.
was there with her jug and her straw, just downing it really.
Yeah, that's good. I was like, waste not, want not.
It's so heavy.
Yeah, sometimes I would, but sometimes you'd be able to get 2 pitchers with double the amount of shots cheaper. Sometimes I would have 2 pitchers, but I would only be drinking one at one time. I make myself sound like a bad gal, but I'm not that bad. I'm all right now. I've mellowed out.
In Inveraray as well, they have a couple of big festivals. They have a Best of the West festival every year, and they get major acts, and there's the castle in Inveraray as well, and that's all done in the grounds, but they have lots of sort of multi-venues all over Inveraray. And there's another festival they have, is the Bluebell Festival, so we tend to play both of those festivals every year.
Right.
And it's the most ridiculously heaving. I cannot describe it. People are falling out of trees and everything. It's just heaving.
Heaving
cannot move
it.
Even when you do that, thank you, good night. That was for some reason you can't get off the stage. You can't move. It's so back.
I love it.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So because it's it's a holiday destination as well. People go like groups of guys. There's a lot of groups of girls that go away, and you're going to spend a great girls' weekend in Inveraray. So they're all drinking cocktails. Mostly, I'm generalising here, but Kenny's just naive at times, isn't he? So we could see all these girls, they're all going, woo, over at Kenny whilst he's playing. He said, do you want a drink? Kenny's going, no, I'll get one when I finish, thanks. In between songs, I'll get one when I finish.
I love that.
So we know at the end of the gig, they're all going to grab Kenny and going, try one of these, because there's table drinks, there's cocktails everywhere.
Love it.
And every time we're passing and moving by everybody, all you can see Kenny was with another standing there with a big smile on his face with another multicoloured cocktail.
Why does Kenny get all the drinks?
So that's that feeding into why I get called Sick Boy, was that?
Oh really?
Okay.
Oh, I can see where this story's going. Cocktails are dangerous though, because they just taste like juice, like ginger.
Yeah, you drink them so quick and then.
He was just like a wee boy, just going, "This is lovely." You can be going, "Oh, this is really nice, thanks." Another one, okay then, thanks. Just taking them from all angles, yeah. So it's a bit of a shit.
Crazy.
So, how would you describe the music that you typically make or play?
What if I go on Aiden first?
Oh man, it's tough. I mean, it depends if it appeals to everyone. First of all, do you know what I mean? All these groups. I wouldn't go as far as indie. To be honest with you, it's hard to describe, mate. I would say, what would you categorise it? Because it's too hard, mate. Your songwriting's vast as fuck. Always has been.
Do you know the thing for me? And unashamedly, I get so jealous of people who write great pop songs.
Really?
Pop songs. And I go, I wish I'd written that. That's an absolute belter.
Really?
I mean, Harry Styles albums, that's all pop.
Yeah.
It's beautiful writing. I know he didn't write it all. He's like
Of course.
writers, etc. But it's pop music. But it's the idea of it's popular music is made for the masses. So I don't mind saying there's pop in there. But with rock, we like to party.
Yeah.
We like to.
I like it.
Have a bit of attitude. The last song we're working on for our album in Morse Code with Liam. Liam? I don't know if you met Liam.
No,
Liam's
I haven't,
fine.
but I've heard about him.
Yeah.
What a guy. Big shout out to Liam.
Yes,
My boy.
Liam, if you're listening, we're going to get him on the show at some point. Definitely him and Brendan will get them on. So
He's just a star, an
honestly,
absolute star.
he's so talented.
The last we had a middle eight in the song, and I can't remember which song it was, but Aiden started playing this samba beat in the middle eight, and it rocks my world. Brendan hates it.
I know.
Brendan was like, where's this samba beat coming from? And they're going, that will make people dance. And I go, I absolutely love that shit. And it does. You're in the studio listening to it, you're going, that's fantastic. Just when you remember you brought the China out, and all of a sudden it was a samba
that's
beat
cool, though.
in the middle of a rock tune.
That's
You know,
cool.
a pop rock tune. The samba beat comes in.
Because we've all got different influences, you know what I mean? The shows within the band, but the majority of them are, I suppose, kind of pop rock. My favourite artist just now is John Mayer. It's got to be, he's the king of pop.
Okay.
Man, fight me. He's the best man. He is, honestly. I love
Nice.
John Mayer. And he's a massive influence of mine. So when Billy's songwriting, and we all kind of sit together as well, you come in with an idea, we'll all kind of bounce off with each other, and it makes more sense to do that because then everybody's happy with their part, you know?
Yeah. That's actually one of our questions is like, what are you, like, what's your music that you're listening to right now? Like, what's new music that you're listening to?
John Mayer just now, but my favourite band ever, Green Day, all time, man.
Yay! Okay, nice.
Love Green Day.
Absolutely love Green Day. That's the reason why I got into drumming, man. It's just seeing him battling the shit out of the drums. So you just, I do that, you know. I love Green Day, man. I always will.
But the other thing we always said is the part of what we do when we play our own songs is we play a bunch of covers as well. It's just that the thing is keep people entertained. I think it's a massive ask to go and play a whole bunch of original songs.
I didn't answer what
in the night, you know, and it's the sorry, do you want that?
That's the beer that I'm drinking, by the way. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, that's my favourite beer. It's from
Product.
France, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Say it for them. Yeah, so
But
we're...
back to the influences for me, punk.
Yeah.
Punk is my that's where I
Is
come
it?
from. Is punk. If I could only listen to one album for the rest of my life every day, and never mind the
I
bollocks.
knew that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going
We've got...
That's me. Just every time epitomises everything. In fact, I'm wearing my t-shirt.
I know, I've seen that.
Yeah. What does it say?
That's
No
it.
music on a dead planet.
No music on a dead planet.
No music in a dead planet, so it's a wee bit of a for all of those musicians all getting together to help basically save the planet, make the planet a safer place. So when we're all touring and everything, and the government has to help order my wee pups
dog's
just
escaped,
arrived here.
man.
Oh,
Get
the
a wee
dog.
puppy here, she's trying to get in the action.
Just going back to what you said there, Billy, about it's from a charity. We actually, while we were doing our research on you particularly, we noticed that you'd done quite a lot of like charity work in the past. And do you think that like MrdB will be doing like a lot of more charity like shows in the future when things go back to normal? Do you see yourself getting involved with more charity shows and stuff?
No more than ever, mate.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Just one of the big charities we love to do is just help support. You know, and it's particularly emerging artists, young people who can't afford it. The amount of talent that must be sitting at home, can't afford the guitar, can't afford the keyboard, etc. You know, and it's
heartbreaking.
Even the thing that we mentioned when we put on the summer schools through Moss Code Management with Brendan Moon.
Yes.
You know, we bring people in and we give them the resources. We give all our time for free.
Yeah.
Give a whole week of exposure. You know, they come into the studio, they get to see top international stars like Natasha Jenkins.
Shut up.
Even that, I've been through the years of, I don't know if you're familiar with a phrase called pay to play. When pay to play came in, it was a
That's
horrible
so
period.
bad. And they were...
It was a UK-wide thing that was just everywhere you went. You actually paid the venues. Like, can I give you money to pay your venue?
Shut up.
That was so evil because they were like, yeah, you'll make money from it if you sell the tickets. So you pay the venue, and then if you manage to sell enough tickets, then you make your money back. But if you don't, then you're like spending money.
Oh, that's
to play.
bullshit. You already have to spend the time rehearsing where you could be doing another job. You spend your money to get to the venue. You need to take all your gear.
So
and
bad.
Sell the tickets too.
And so many
Bring
people...
all your family and all your friends who come in and buy loads of drink at the bar, you know.
And then...
And they just
yeah.
money.
And literally they would market it in a way that they were like, this is revolutionary, like you're going to make so much money from this. You just have to pay in advance and then you'll get all your money back. And then obviously so many people lost like hundreds of pounds to play gigs
that were shit.
Like their own shows.
No.
Crazy.
So I came through that, and that horrible thing was pretty much you didn't have any other choice until a whole collective of bands artists all got together and said, no, we are fighting back. And it was great. We got loads of publicity for it. So ironically, we ended up playing, anti-pay-to-play.
I like it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
loads
good.
of TV coverage and radio coverage. So we beat all of that. And then it was about, give a fair rate of pay to musicians. If you want them to play, you're asking them to pay them, which is great. It's not always a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
Occasionally you get a nice payoff, but back to the charity thing, that we've got a mindset now, if it's for the good of helping support and provide a bit of inspiration to other people, we'll just instantly go, yeah, we'll play for nothing.
Yeah, that's
that's so good. It's a great thing to do, and I think as the music industry slowly starts opening back up, as it will, whenever it does, I think it'll be good, because there will be a lot of young musicians who their only access to music would have been in school with the instruments, if they even had that in school, and then they've gone months and months at home. So I think it will be great. I think it'll be good.
Fingers crossed.
And toes.
But going back to what you said earlier about your sets, like integrating covers in your sets, what would you say are your top 5 covers to play?
Oh yeah.
Top 5 covers?
Oh, I know mine straight away. Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know if I can remember 5 fucking covers.
How do you even play the drums, Aiden? You must be fucked on the stage.
I'm not too bad. I get by.
He never misses a beat. Never misses a beat.
Oh, wow.
Well
That's
done,
such a good compliment.
Me and Billy, as non-drummers, are like, what the fuck? Oh, well, I suppose you used to play drums.
Well, I don't ask that and see if Aiden
Right, go ahead.
So, yeah, Green Day Basket Case.
Hey, yeah.
Absolutely love playing that. We do Video Killed the Radio Star, which is originally
Yeah, banger!
Did you work with Trevor Horn before? No, Trevor Horn's one of Brendan's guys as well.
I recognise the name, but I've not worked with him, no.
So Trevor Horn is top producer, works with everybody, including Up to Date, Dua Lipa, etc. But his band was called The Bubbles, and they did Video Killed the Radio Star. But we do a sort of more punky version of it, and it's a band called The Presidents of the United States of America. Yeah, version of it. So that's one of my favourites to play, and I just said it was dead easy, but it's not. There's so many.
We'll go five
I love doing the Cult, She Sells Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely love it.
Nice.
Hard to handle, pretty good, man. The Black Crows, I quite like playing that. That's funky.
Yeah.
And just kind of going on pop punk, I would say probably All the Small Things.
Yeah, Blink.
That's a classic, man. Everybody's up as soon as you hear that.
Everybody like when you play that.
It gets everyone jumping around, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Is that 5?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Good
But
vibes.
I love when Aiden goes, just you hear him, you go, we're going to do this. Sorry, wait a second. What? Wait, that's a fucking banger. Okay. Aiden says we're going to play. It's nice to read the audience. You go
Read the room. So
Yeah, that's really good.
And I think part of our influences is about the fact that we do a lot of covers as well, because it comes through on how we play, how we create our own songs, our own original stuff, the performances, everything. The whole idea of every song we play as a cover is it's songs you go, I would love to play that live. That's where it comes from. That's at its heart. Not to say it's a cracking song, it's to say it's a cracking song, but I would love to play that live.
Yeah.
It's all about
And if it's a song you would love to hear live, then it's probably a song other people would love to hear live as well,
Definitely. So, we heard that you're releasing a single in August called Making History, and it's featuring Dave Greenwood from Baby Chaos. How did this connection come about?
Well, this is a part of our Spinal Tap story.
Oh, is it?
So it was, and one of our drummer at the time had, I think he lives in the moon now. Maybe that's just became an astronaut and he lives in the moon, so we can't get him anymore. So we're due to go into Brendan's with Liam to work on this single, Making History, and we're stuck. So it was that idea of even just bin it all together before we could get a hold of the great man here.
Okay.
So one of our favourite bands is Baby Chaos. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, we listened to a lot of them.
We listened to them the other day when we were doing our research for this.
So they're cool. They give me like an Ash vibe a bit, you know?
Yeah.
They've got that. They were, big within that scene, and their latest albums are fantastic as well. Great bunch of lads. Big shout out to Baby Chaos.
That's so nice.
So Dave from Baby Chaos. I was roadieing with them with the gun gig at Kelvin. What do you call it again?
Kelvin's bandstand? No?
Bandstand.
Bandstand. Yep.
Bandstand. Not last summer, but the summer before. The hottest stage I've ever been on in my life. It was melting. So I was roading, helping out Baby Chaos for that gig.
Oh, nice.
Gun were headlining, and so I just said to Dave, any chance you could help us out, and he just instantly said, yeah man, glad to help out. So that's where it came from, was just coming into the studio to help us out with the single. So
that's
it was really good.
That's good.
Yeah, good way of making connections. So.
Yeah, as you said earlier, phone a friend. So definitely.
We've got, following up after that, 4-track EP and then album out next year.
Yeah, nice.
So
hopefully if you just get into the studio.
I know, fingers crossed.
So who's going to be recording the EP and all the upcoming releases?
So we're all back in. So all four of us in. We've been working any little window we've had where we've been allowed to go into the studio. We've just went straight back in. So I think the last time was just before Christmas, wasn't it?
Morse Code.
Yeah, and in Morse Code, working with Liam in Morse Code Studios.
So Liam McCluskey's producing it, Or Liam.
Yeah, and then with Brendan as well. Brendan's sort of EP on it, so executive producer on it.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, so it's great. So, but Brendan can come in. When you think you're the finishing touches to a particular song, you go, I think this guy.
Yeah.
We'll go. Brendan come in and go, BPM needs to be halved. He
just knows.
What? Yeah. So the guy who has gold, silver, platinum albums all over, worked with everybody, so you've got to listen to him at times. But
definitely think he's got some very strong opinions, and I think you have to listen to him sometimes, so then sometimes you got to be strong to your beliefs and be like, don't know about this one, we want it a particular way, a particular sound. So.
Yeah, it's difficult when someone wants to change your vision of your baby, your song,
Yeah.
It is, and it's so hard, it's that almost naivety to all over the years, even when you go back to Elvis tracks where, when you realise where they were trying to play with a drummer playing a kit and it wasn't working, and you go, it's still not right, a producer's saying it's still not right. I think it's the drums, and they take the drums out altogether and they just have somebody tapping the guitar flight case.
Yeah.
And you've got Jailhouse Rock or something like that.
It's so good.
How do these people know these things, to make? So it's always hard, yeah. But great fun, always great fun.
I enjoy it when you bring a song into the band and stuff like that. You need to. It comes with experience where you learn to listen to other people. You can write a song by yourself and you might release it and you might think, that sounds amazing, and it does absolutely shit because you didn't show anybody else prior to releasing it.
Yeah.
You didn't ask for opinions, and you get that through experience. You need to take criticism on board. It's a massive, massive thing when you're a musician, is getting other people's opinions. You write a song, even in your own opinion, you write a song, and you think, I'll sit in that for a couple of days because if I send that to someone just now, I'll think it's shit within 2 days, so I'll just sit in it. And it's just kind of things like that you pick up on your songwriting. But the most important thing is listening to other people, because at the end of the day, it's not just your song, it's everybody's.
Exactly.
Yeah, true, very true. And it's other people that are going to be listening to it as well.
Different set of ears for sure.
Yeah. So what is the writing and recording process like for your music usually?
Fucking awful.
Beer's kicking in.
You better watch out, Aiden. You're going to be out the band come June, fuck's sake.
It's because I record first in the studio.
Okay.
So as soon as my parts are done, I am sitting, and I am sitting, and I am sitting and sitting. All I do is sit. So the recording process gets a bit boring after maybe about an hour and a half in.
But I like after I've done my vocals and I say, Aiden, where are you going? So I'm just nipping out for a 5 hour. No, you're not. You've got your BVs.
You've had all day to go for a smoke.
Am I on this one? Yeah. You've got the best voice in the band.
Oh, that's cool. So you do BVs as well?
Yeah. He's a great singer. He's just
Has he? Has he been humble?
Great.
Nice.
Really good job. And I love we compliment each other.
Yeah, man. The tone of our voices thankfully match up. That's a big thing.
Well, can't wait to hear these BVs.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. So, do you have like a specific structural way that you create music? Like, Billy, do you like come up with melody lines and write lyrics or take it to the boys, or how does it work? Do you all come up with pieces and then mold it together? Like, how's your process for that?
I tend to just when I've got a wee studio in my attic at home, and I tend to write. That's the way the guys that we've kind of formed that wee relationship where they say, "Can you just record a demo of it, give it to us?" You know, and I can play pretty much everything, but I know my limitations. I'm not great at everything. He's great at everything. But I know that, you know, I've got an idea in my head, but it's just as long as I can get that idea, and I usually just send it out to the guys, you know, just email it.
You didn't take the credit though, mate. The backbone of the song, it's all you.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, it is, yeah. So I bring it all, and then but they put their expertise to it. You know, the way I look at it is, you know, everybody can decorate their home. Everybody can dip a paintbrush into the bin and paint a wall. But see, when you get a great decorator, and then you look at it and you just go, that is perfection.
Yeah.
These guys make the perfection. The rest of the guys make the
that's so nice.
That guy can paint my wall, you know, and it looks so good. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Can tell there's a lot of love there.
That's really nice, and that's really important. And do you know what else? I think it's really nice that you have that relationship with the rest of the guys, that you can just record a demo and give it to them, and then they will put, because I know that in some bands that wouldn't go down well, because you'll have some personalities that will be like, well, I want to write X, Y, and Z at the beginning, like, and I think that causes so.
There's nothing worse than being in a band with somebody that takes themselves too seriously like that.
Exactly.
You just need to all be chill and just be open to everybody else's ideas.
And that happens so much.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, you're in so many bands, so you probably experience it more than I do, but.
The song we've got called Awkward. It's one of the earliest things you did say with the intro. We've got this big. We love this idea where it's just a big staccato of just we all be timing it so tight as hell. It's really good. You went, oh, I love that. That's absolute magic. Could we do this with it though?
Yeah.
And we went, we thought this was absolute magic, but yeah. And the second we tried it, we went, oh god, that's a whole new level. So that's how it works. You know, it's just really just somebody's thought. I thought about this, and you go, that's great.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's really cold out here now, by the way. I'm not being a wuss. It is cold.
No, is it cold? I actually thought I saw your breath there. I thought I saw your breath there, Billy, when you were talking, and I thought, Jesus, it must be freezing.
I was having the same thought.
It sounds like the animal farm where you are, by the way, Billy. There's like a bird calling or something. I can hear it in the background.
It's so funny.
That's Kenny.
Just Kenny being sick.
Honestly, it was like a bird calling, and then I heard a dog barking, and I thought, fuck's sake, we'll be getting the horses and the cows next.
Yeah, really funny.
I don't know if you edit this one out, but we had a good friend, Paolo Natini, and we were doing a recording up at the back of the garden last summer. And I got my laptop, my MacBook Pro out, and I get this beautiful large condenser microphone out. I said, the ambience in the garden, we'll hear the wind come through the trees and all, and just set up, and just this wee moment, you go, ready.
Oh no.
And they played this beautiful wee picking guitar thing, recording it, went, magic. The two of us listened to it back, no, you could hear it was the birds going,
That's what it's going to be like for our listeners, I swear. You need to get a shotgun, Billy, come on.
Mr. DB featuring
the Crow. So funny. Just going back to what you said, so I know you're saying that you know Paolo Nutini, you've obviously you know him well. How did that come about? Is it just from being in Paisley that you know him well, or?
Well, just those two sides to it, through Brendan, that I've known for years. And I'm best pals with his dad.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Brilliant. I mean, if we could get him on the show, put a good word in for us.
Yeah, please do. Ooh, switching seats, okay.
Oh. You go near the fire.
Is there? The fire.
Yeah, the fire.
Of course, the log burn.
Brilliant. Oh god. Well, yeah. If you could get him, if you could put a word in for us, Billy, we'd love to have him on the show too. Paolo, if you're watching, baby, I love you.
How did you guys cope with lockdown as a band? Has it been difficult?
I had to get a job.
Oh no! What's your job?
Proper
A real job. I had to get a real job.
You're not a musician, a proper job.
Shit, man.
Really?
But I love it. I really do. It's giving me a kind of kick up the arse to get a bit of a more substantial job, just in case kind of things don't work out, you know. But I'm hoping to win the paramedics coming into this year. So that's my...
Amazing. Good on you. Well done, you.
Thanks. I mean, lockdown's been utter pants, as everybody knows, but it has, as far apart as everybody's been, it's brought everybody together.
Yeah.
It really has.
We're looking forward to the second we're allowed the four of us to come and meet outside, which is the cabin.
Yeah.
We're going to do cabin sessions. We're going to do live sessions, and do recordings and stream them and things like that.
Oh, amazing.
So when you come up, when the borders open, come up.
Yes, can't wait.
We'll come up. We'll come and get a drink, a swally. Yes. I'll sing for you. I'll serenade for my entry. Can that be my payment?
We'll get there. Hopefully I'll have a pizza oven outside by that point as well.
Oh, Billy, you're just teasing us now.
This sounds amazing.
I mean, if you're ever in London and you need a place to stay, we have got a wee gorgeous house that we love dearly. So
Whereabouts in London are these?
we're up in northwest. So north. We're north. So we're just actually. Do you know Alexandra Palace? Ali Pally.
Yes, Ali Pally.
We're about 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk.
10-minute walk, I'd say.
Done a gig in Ali Pally, or it was one of the big tattoo festivals.
The what festivals?
One of the tattoo festival.
Oh right, okay.
So one of them, and I played
Oh
there.
wow, that's a great venue to play. Holy shit!
It's an amazing place.
Amazing. Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's
man.
beautiful.
So that's 10 minutes from Ali Pally. Right?
Yeah, we're super near.
So if you want to come and see any gigs in Ali Pally, just come and stay
Hit us
here.
up, yeah,
we
it's
can
always fun.
have a good party as well after.
Yes,
and before,
maybe even during.
So, what was the first record or CD that you ever bought?
I know that. You want to go first? I'll go Busted, Present for Everyone.
Oh,
Busted.
That was the first one I bought.
Busted. All right.
Okay.
I Busted at a gig at Hampton backstage. Yeah, I'll tell you that later.
You can swear on this.
Yeah, you're allowed to swear. It's fine.
Yeah, of course. We have our little
Just
warnings.
because that's probably about the 12th time.
We had I can't remember. I helped. Who was it? It was Natalie and Brulia. Busted. Who was the other band?
Natalie.
Katie Tunstall.
Oh yeah.
And it was at Hampden, but it was one of these young gigs, and it was known as a dry gig.
No drink.
Oh no.
I don't know if I should say this. I don't care. But it was. I had something. I helped him out with a technical thing, and they said, "Oh, come in, get backstage passes, and go." And they gave us a dressing room, and we shared the dressing room with Natalie Brulia.
Right.
And Busted were next door to us, and everybody was raging. All I could hear was everybody going, "I can't believe we're playing a dry gig. We're playing a dry festival." I said, "Guys, leave it with me. We're at Hampden, there's hospitality." And I go, when Busted finished the gig and they came off and they were all buzzing, they went, "You all want a beer, don't you?" And I went, dying for a beer, and went, "Follow me." So we came out and I got back into our dressing room and I had bottles of beer.
Of course
so
you did.
good.
See, anyone listening that's a musician in Glasgow, Billy is a good guy to know.
That's not one.
Oh, well, Billy is a good guy to know.
I forgot about that just as soon as you said Busted, and that's bizarre.
That's mental. So
The saviour.
yeah, literally.
The saviour
Saving
of the gig.
grace. Love that.
Yeah.
So what was your first one, Billy? What was your first record?
My first song, first single on record, 7-inch, was called "Turning Japanese" by the Vapors. It's
Right.
a punk song.
Okay.
I don't think I've heard that one.
I don't think I've heard that one either, but
We have 1,000
You'll know it.
guarantee you've heard it.
Really?
It has that
oh yeah, of course I do. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, no, I actually do know that one.
I'm just really bad with names.
Yeah, we're both quite bad. I need to see the artwork.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. The artwork.
I need to see the artwork to know what we're talking about. I'm so shit with names of bands and songs, don't have a clue. But if you show me the picture of it, I'll be like, I remember. So That's very interesting.
To play Paisley this December.
So, what is the pinnacle moment in your life that made you realise that music was your future path? What's the point that started it all? I know it's a hard question. I kind of should have thought that one through.
I know. Yeah, see the song I mentioned earlier on, we were talking about covers. Myself, my best pal, Rob Garrison, if you're listening.
Shout out.
Yeah. Hi, shout out to you. Great guy, love him. We were best pals from 4 years old, and we just blagged. That's a whole UK word, isn't it? You just blagged
it.
Just blag it, you know. We knew that we wanted to join a band, and we were 15. And so we're going to start a band. We'd never touched an instrument at school, nothing, absolutely nothing, not got a clue. And there was a huge big UK sort of fundraising thing. It was called Telethon, Scottish Telethon.
Right.
And it was all over TV, and there was gigs over the whole of Scotland. And it was all live, and they were cutting from this city or this town, you know, all over. And our first gig was on Scottish Telethon, and we were 15 years old. Never having played an instrument at all. We blagged it. My Robert's uncle or cousin, I can't remember. Sorry, Robert, can't remember. But Robert went, yeah, we've got a band, can we play? And that was it. So Robert came back and went, we're starting a band. And that was it. So the closest thing I wanted to play, and thinking if you're going to be in a band, he went, I want to play a drummer. I love drums. You know, I love watching drummers. And Robert says, I wanted a bassist, which was perfect because we were the rhythm section, and we just got a band together, and that was it. That was the start of the whole thing, and I just fell in love with it instantly.
Brilliant.
And I've stopped since, you know, for 3 or 4 years now.
Cast yourself on, do we button up the back? Don't start.
What about you?
It's tough to say, man. I mean, you could come out with some common shit and say like live at this certain big stage and stuff like that, but honestly, the best moment for me, my first gig, I would say, like when I was learning how to play drums, I just always wanted to be able to play in front of my mum and dad. My dad's my hero, man. My dad's the man, and I've always wanted to be able to play in front of my mum and dad and just see the look on their faces looking at me. And that feeling is better than any feeling that you'll get off any drugs. Any bullshit.
That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's the best answer so far we've had on the show. That's class.
That is so sweet.
Probably
so nice.
My first gig when my mum and dad was there was probably the best.
Aiden,
did they enjoy it?
Parts.
They did. They loved it. Well, they said they loved it. They probably like, we did shit.
They were there like,
that's what they said.
That's so funny.
That's so
my
sweet.
God, that is so sweet. That is a really nice thing to hear because you never usually get an answer like that. That's nice.
We all have written our parents, man.
Oh.
He'll support all the time, yeah.
That's really good.
That's so sweet.
So how would you say the Scottish music scene differs from the other music scenes in the world, or like the rest of the UK even?
I think there's a real... to me, it's the thing I was talking about earlier on about the Paisley, the music scene, is that where I'm really so proud to be a person who's served the time and born and bred Paisley musician. That you can out there. There's a culture where, personally, I've always felt as if nobody's been in competition with each other.
That's nice.
And everybody's there to support and help, and just be around and say, you know, you've got so much talent, you're great, you're doing a great job, come on board with us, come and join in with that, you know, I will help you and I'll support you, you know, that's, and I've not been a musician, I've played other places, but I've not, you know, been born and bred, so I can't
really say,
sense, but I'm only talking about, you know, if I went down to London to play a gig.
Yeah. Even that though, that's worlds apart. Do you know what I mean? Like, coming down to London and playing gigs is not like playing gigs in Glasgow. Like, not at all.
No, but it should be like that everywhere, where, you know, people support each other and
that community side of it. But I think Glasgow's from years and years and years, has always been a very tight-knit community. Like, from what I've heard from my granny, like, you know, everybody knew everybody and everybody watched out for everybody, and like, you know, you looked out for other kids and other mains and whatever. So I think that maybe what we even said earlier on about the shift and the mentality of musicians, where they are looking out for each other more, maybe that will be the new start, where down in London it will be more similar to Glasgow, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
I've always liked when you go down to London and your friend phones you and says, "Oh, you're in London." He said, "Yeah, I just want to meet up for a beer." And you go, "Yeah, great, where are you?" "Okay, fantastic." And it takes you an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah, literally. It's like 3 buses and 2 tubes.
Yeah.
So here, for us, being in Glasgow to Edinburgh is an hour apart on a train, you know, fast train, it's an hour apart. But if you're sitting in a pub in Glasgow and you phone your mate and he says, "Oh, I'm in blah 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 bar in Edinburgh, do you want to meet up?" And you go, "Fuck off."
No, fuck that. Exactly, no way.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's so true. I think the way that, even though London is so vast and there's so much in between each bit, the links, the transport links between it are just too fast. You would be silly to say no to meet your pal who's only 40 minutes away if it's 2 tubes.
Because everything is like 40 minutes away in London.
Yeah,
like that's normal amount of time to go somewhere.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
Over an hour, you're like, this is getting long. But anything 40 minutes.
As well, it just.
You walk everywhere. Just walk. Yeah, so we just walk. You know?
Yeah, that's it. It is nice.
All the bands that all kind of play in the music scene, they don't live too far away from each other, so chances are they're all in the same state of affairs. Everybody's skint. Everybody is skint. It is so brutal, and it makes some difference as well when all the bands, they're all in the same boat, so they'll help each other out, you know. And the Scottish music scene is very, very different to
the fire
London, because there's no funding. There's absolutely zero funding, so like you could count on your fingers the amount of emerging Scottish stars in the past 10 years. It's disgusting. And the same applies to like football and stuff and rugby, what have you, because there's no money to get into all these places for Waynes to go and play. So there's no any Scottish football stars coming up, and there's no any places for any Scottish musicians to go and play in the studio for free. It's unheard of. If you want to play a musician, you have to pay. And there's a lot of it, and everywhere else though, in America and stuff like that, there's access to places like this.
Of course.
And it does show, and the people that kind of arise for it. But
that goes back to the charities we were talking about. You know, it's really good to help other musicians out that really can't afford to, you know, buy an instrument or start playing music in the first place.
It all goes down to the funding that and the help that we receive from the government and what happens. But I mean, we're an art, so we should all retrain anyway, as I've apparently said.
Apparently we're non-essential, so
try
and live without us.
Try and live without us.
See how fun life will be then.
Exactly.
The thing that most people don't realise whenever they go to see you guys play or anybody go and play, they just think of that half hour, 40 minutes or an hour and a half on stage. Just think that's it.
No, there's just so much else.
So much work that goes into it.
It's behind the scenes to make that beautiful moment happen. You have no idea, you know.
Oh God, I know it.
You've got any motivation just now to practice because you don't get that 40 minutes. That's just happening just now. It's like if you're a comedian and you're just practicing your jokes in the mirror and you never ever get to perform live. What is the point? You know. I know. It's just no. So as long as you keep that drive and that motivation, the time this lockdown ends, you will be good. Thankfully, I've had access to a studio this whole time. One of my pals, Jay, he rented out a big unit. J-Boy, shout out to you. And he's got a container, and we just stuck all our drums and all our kind of PA and stuff in it. So we've rigged it out with some sound panels and stuff. So we got into a studio to do some live streaming. We did that over the pandemic just to kind of keep people going and stuff for Facebook Live, and it's good because you can see people in the comments speaking to people like they would in a pub. It's just like the first time they'd spoken to each other, you know, and that makes a bit of difference when we're playing, especially.
Definitely. No, that's nice to hear. It's good to hear that, and I take my hat off to you. I have the utmost respect for the guys that Aiden like you that can keep going doing music full time, even though you've had, you know, we've all had the lack of live shows, and then Billy doing your job, having a family and doing music. Fuck, don't know how you do it.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of shit that I don't want to deal with for the next 20 years. Okay.
Yes.
Literally, yes.
Do you have any advice for young musicians who are just starting out?
You're the young guy. Yeah.
I'm the young guy.
You both have good answers.
You're a young guy too.
You're both young, yeah.
Billy, you're only 25, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously.
That's not old, is it? What do you say?
Oh, so good.
It's got to be practice, man. This is what I said the last time. Practice makes perfect. That's what my dad always used to say to me.
Yeah.
Is practice makes perfect. That, and I never really understood it. Do you know what I mean? And he always used to say, what was the other one? He used to say, if it was hard, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
And it just shows if you learn something, it'll set you aside from the rest. If you're out and you're getting pissed and you're not focusing on what you're doing, there's always somebody else out there that is.
Yeah.
And you're going to get in the part. And that's how I always see it. You always compare yourself to the best and not the worst.
That's good. That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah, that is.
For sure.
Really
what about you, Billy?
I'm stealing a saying from Nike. I don't get cuts from Nike. This
is an unsponsored piece of information.
But if you want to Nike, yeah.
For me, I've always said it's that kind of stop thinking about it, stop talking about it, just do it. That's my Nike. It's that just do it. It's in the doing, just going, fuck it, just do it.
Yeah. Exactly. You know? That's another good one.
Yeah, way back to, when I'm saying like my friend Rob Carlson, he said, we've got a band, just like, and I've maintained that from then on in. But equally, the thing that shines is honing your craft. Practice, make it better, and make it a standout. But just do it. Just get in amongst it. Stop procrastinating. Stop prevaricating. Which is one of my favourite words. I love it. And just do it. Just get in amongst it and just going, yeah, I can do that. I say that to my students all the time.
Brilliant.
Somebody calls your phone and says, and they're offering you a job, and they say, "Can you do?" And you go, "Yes, I can." Like, just going to find out how to do that. Just go, yes, I can.
Every CV I've ever written.
Literally. That is, honestly. I keep going back to
I'll put this on here and then find out how to do it if they need it.
I keep going back to my wee granny, but she said that to me and my two sisters growing up. There's no such word as can't. You don't say that. She used to say, you don't say that around me because that word doesn't exist. That's what I was always taught. So I think it's a good, it's probably could have been told to us a wee bit nicer as children, but that was it. That's what we were told. So it's a very good point.
Never gain complacency, man. Just always remember that true musicianship can never ever be mastered. You just always need to work at it as long as you focus on your decision making right now, man.
Yeah.
Do it right.
Brilliant.
Your positive, genuine vibes come through and people pick up on that, You can see that from YouTube straight away. You know that. It's very genuine. You can tell, you've got that path and love and people think
it's coffee! We spoke about this, Aiden! Oh, bless you. That's so nice to hear. Just the last question. So is there anything else that you guys would like to tell us? Would you like to plug yourselves for any? You've obviously spoke about you've got releases coming out. But is there anything else that you want to say?
Tell us when they're coming out and all of that.
Give yourself a shout out.
Okay, so a big shout out. We've got our single coming out that's called Making History. And we're very pleased with it, very proud of it. It's a great little tune. It gets you pumping, it gets you going, and I think everybody will like it. That's coming out hopefully end of the summer, hopefully. We've got our Facebooks and our Insta Webagrams and all that.
You're showing your age. No.
All joking aside, so we have Facebook and we've got Instagram. Check us out. We have MrdB and MrdBs. So check out both those MrdBs. MrdBs.
I can't wait to shout that.
Send a couple of t-shirts down to you.
Oh yeah, we would love that. Thank you.
That would be so cool.
What we'll do for everybody listening and watching, we will link up all of MrDB's profiles and social media platforms.
And then when your music is released, we'll also add it to our Spotify playlist.
Yep, we're going to have a Spotify playlist with every person that's been on the show with their releases, and we'll link you guys up so you're presented quite clearly on our channel as well. So we are B2B Catalogues. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
And you can email us at b2bcatalogues@gmail.com for any queries or if you'd like to feature on the show.
Yes. Only nice emails, please. We're only new to this. So we've had MrDB on. Thank you so much, guys. It's been fantastic having you.
Thank you. So nice speaking to you.
Can't wait to come and have a pint.